Okay, happy Monday. How is everybody? This is my first SUMO
Ooh.
meetings in the last
Hello!
4 weeks, so cut me some slack here and give me a big smile. How have you guys been?
Good,
Great.
I see it was haircut week this last week, at least for me and Ebi.
What was that?
Really? eBay?
It was, Ebi got a
Oh
haircut.
yeah. Oh, you don't want to know the disaster that happened. I
Oh.
will tell you that story over IRC. It's really private.
Yeah,
Your
let's
stuff
not talk about
arrived.
that then.
Wow.
All right, so let's just dive right in. We have a Sumo development update as the first agenda item. So, Ricky, please.
Hello. I'm updating this thing here. Okay. I think it's not busted now. So this week we end our fifth sprint. There's a link there to the bugs, and we start the sixth sprint. Um, and oh, I forgot to add something here. So one cool thing is last week we started doing continuous deployment. So we actually pushed to production 7 times in the week. That was fun. Let me add that to the update here. And then right now we are at Elasticsearch is up to 80% right now, and um, we'll probably up at 10% for the next 2 days, and then we should be at 100 if the wheels don't fall off. And
So far, so good.
that's yeah, it's working well. And Chang he ran the metrics last week, and they were still looking pretty good. Significant. I mean, I don't know what percentage better than Sphinx, but it was enough better. And that's all I had, I think.
Okay, questions for Ricky, development.
Just one, Ricky. I see the fifth sprint is going pretty well. I just wanted to check. Are you guys will you be able to do the L10N stats in this sprint still?
Uh, so it is actually mostly done. I just need to add the UI, so I should be done with that today and then get it reviewed and stuff. So it should land like tomorrow or Wednesday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Any other questions?
One thing I had is so while Kadir was gone, we were all confused because we didn't know how to update the Elton and string. So one thing is we need to update them today, and the other thing is figure out how to spread that out so more of us can do that for the next time you're away.
Yeah, I already talked with Rosanna about that. She told me about it, and I will show her how to do that. If anyone else is interested, I can show anyone who wants to see actually how I get that done.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Ricardo. Uh, okay, let's move on to roundtable. The first topic is that I see is Firefox Clinic. We should talk about where I'd like to hear a status of where we are, but this particular bullet seems to be about a blog post. Is this yours, Michael?
Yes, sorry, and I'm also adding one other thing to the
Michael, unmute,
roundtable.
please.
Deal. Oh,
Hello.
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 How's that? Sorry, so I was in the middle of also adding one more thing to the roundtable. Deal. So, well, Firefox Clinic, I made a blog post about it that I published this morning with a... Basically, you can read the post or watch the video. It's like this, almost the same exact text. But this is a plea for internally or for community members to be helpers. So that's what that post is about. I would like Chang. I was gonna put this on the Monday meeting presentation thing. They just hadn't made the wiki page yet, so I'll try to do that after this meeting. But I was hoping Oh no, you're at home. You're muted. I'll.
I was gonna say I can probably make it there. I mean, after this meeting, if when you want me to be there for that.
Well, I can just call in on the
Okay.
phone. What I was gonna do was hopefully just have them play the video and be live as a backup in case of a video failure.
Okay.
Anything.
I'll try to be there for that. I'll just have to
Okay.
go right after I have my one-on-one with David.
Um. David, did you have questions about the Firefox Clinic? Other things you wanted to know?
Well, no. I guess what I would like to know is if we're on track and what else needs to happen. I mean, you internal, or, creating PR, I guess, for it. But is there anything else? And where, how can I get involved? How can people help? What is needed at this point?
Right. The big thing right now is recruiting people to be helpers at the event and publicizing it to the public. So if you talk to other Mozillians, encourage them, like ask them personally, hey, will you do this?
I
Is the
covered
thing.
the whole Mozilla or the Mozilla office in Mountain View on Friday with posters.
Yep.
So
Oh,
hopefully
right,
that
that's
will
right.
get some impact. The call to action was to write to the Sumo team at
And
Mozilla.com.
that's what I put in the
Yeah.
video, too.
Apparently we didn't receive anything. I will do the same today in San Francisco. I hope that to get a little bit more traction in San Francisco because, I mean, in San Francisco people live in San Francisco. While Mountain View, there's a lot of people who lives down there and they usually don't like to go up to the city,
Yep.
even on the weekends.
So what do we have a list of people who have actually committed to helping out?
Yeah, we do. There is none.
We do. One.
Oh,
There's
there's one.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, can you already see how many people have signed up for this? Like, I got a ticket, for example. I was wondering if you were looking at that.
Yes, Michelle gets that. There's not many. Michelle, do you want to say anything?
So in terms of how the people who are going to help out, it's basically the Sumo team and one more person. Was there no interest from the engagement team to help out with this, or
So
this is surprising to me.
yes, there is. Well, there is, but I think what it requires is someone, all of us. I will start talk. I think we have to talk to people individually and ask them, "Will you do this?" Like if we just only do general, it's up to you to reply to us things, which I think though valuable. It's it's much easier when you kind of just ask somebody.
Yeah.
Although Chang had a thing, he said, he talked to a few people and they were concerned about would they actually be able to answer questions. They're like, this is gonna be too hard. So I put a part about that in the video. Ebai addressed that in the flyers that he made.
Yeah, but it's not just
I
about
think we
being
need
able
to
to
keep
answer
addressing.
complicated questions. The way I see it, we have a full team of people who can do that. So it's also about welcoming people, talking about the values of Mozilla.
Yep.
And I totally agree with you. Obviously, that you need to ask people individually. And quite frankly, I'm surprised that we haven't done that because we should have had a list of committed people by now. It's just a week away. So let's put some fire on this and make sure that we do reach out to people this week so we can get some commit from people. Because I don't want this to be
Yep.
just the Sumo team. Then that means that we have a very we have a harsh limit on how many people we can invite. We're not going to be able to handle 100 people with just a team, presumably.
Right.
So let's get some action on that this week, and let's Michael let everyone know what you need, and if you have a list of people to reach out to, I'd be happy to help here too. So let's just distribute that list, make sure that we get people to commit to this. Okay, anything else related to the Firefox Clinic. Still need to learn the name here. Anything else on the to-do list? Anything else that needs to happen before we can launch the event? Is everything else taken care of? Catering, security?
Those things, yes. There are still some things for the day of the event. Handouts for for people who are there to get help. Tips and a help page for people answering questions. So stuff like that is still collecting data, form, all that kind of stuff still needs to be done. But there's a to-do list on the project page.
Okay.
For all
It's
that.
all assigned to people, so it's clear for everyone. All
Yeah.
right, perfect. Then I have no other questions about that. And I can't just, I will only say that I'm excited about actually doing this thing. I think it's also going to be a lot of fun. So I'm very much looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Okay, so the other thing I obviously wanted to say is that we have a work week next week, and everyone from Europe I think is flying on the Thursday, except for me who's flying on the Wednesday, because I couldn't even find a good flight on Thursday. So I will be there in the San Francisco office on Thursday and Friday, and I think the rest of the team will more or less be there on the Friday. Michael, you arrive slightly later, I'm guessing.
No, I'm coming earlier on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Excellent.
I'm coming Tuesday next week.
That's right.
And I'll be there the whole following
Perfect.
week. Right.
So we'll have plenty of time to hang out. I'm also working on a more formal schedule for the work week. Ebuy and I think other people have also helped with some feedback on what you want to achieve in this work week. But and also keep sending if you have more suggestions, then keep them coming. But I will start to put a more more concrete times to the different events as soon as possible this week, and then I'll send out a first draft of the actual schedule, and you can provide feedback. One thing to keep in mind is that there will also be hopefully some time for non-team activities, and there's a bunch of people who rarely meet other people in the office, and so I want to make sure that we have some time for that too, but we need to make sure that we can complete all this and also have a good time. So it's going to be a long week, but it's going to feel like a very short week. And that's how it should be. Okay, that's all I had on the roundtables. What else do people have?
Oh, I had added, just so people know, that Firefox reset feature. It looks like we might get at least part of it in Firefox 13. I just tested a build that has in the About Support page, there's a button to reset Firefox, and it seems to work as expected. It creates a new profile, migrates over your bookmarks, passwords, history, stuff like that, but it resets everything else. It's beautiful. We might get it, like, it might be like the default option in safe mode is to do that, but that's still up in the air. That could land. But the part that I think definitely won't land for 13 is the you've crashed 3 times on startup. The crash 3 times on startup. If the safe mode thing lands, then the crash 3 times on startup will work, and we'll have the button in About Support. It's the I'm reinstalling the same version of Firefox use case. That looks like that won't land in Fire. There's no chance for that one in 13. Yet.
So hopefully what this will mean is that we won't see a reduce of traffic to the forum because it's not going to be anything automatic to it, but the answers to people in the forum is going to be so much more straightforward. Just go to help, click
this
troubleshooting, click reset.
Yeah. It will really be interesting to see the results of this. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. And I think it's awesome. And thanks a lot for pushing that forward, Michael. I know it took like almost a year, right? It was so much work. Wow.
It takes a lot of coordination.
It's awesome.
But it's really nice to see that this has landed. This is about to land in Firefox 13. It's really encouraging. So yeah, thanks for all your hard work, Michael. I know you've had a long a number of long and sleepless nights over this. Communication is hard, and if you want to over communicate and you are also remote, it's even harder. So, of course, we're one of the few teams where everyone knows about that. So, okay. Any other on topic items to discuss? Okay. Let's move on to Firefox status update.
So you have to
Sheng,
reload
please.
because I've just been tweaking it. So
Okay.
Firefox 11, you probably got the email forward from David, but it's essentially on hold. We're probably going to release late. The status I'm writing is minute by minute because we keep changing our mind about that at the moment. um, and by we, I definitely don't mean me because I would love to just have a decision. Um, so I will tell you more when more is available, essentially. Um, Lots of progress last week on add-on related issues. It's surprising what a email to all can do. But I'm working with Kev now on a dashboard to track add-on related issues to make sure that everyone is clear where things are going, what add-ons we're keeping an eye on, stuff like that. I'm doing a follow-up on block listing policy changes, although I haven't gotten a hold of Fligtar to talk about that yet. And then we have actually much faster action on the top add-on issue we reported last week, which was the Ant video downloader. It got resolved much, much faster.
Okay.
So that's good. Um, there's also progress on the search hijacking work. It's landed last week, and now my job is to look into feedback about it, especially in the raw and beta channels, and see if it's going to stay in Firefox 13. So that's my main update.
Hey, Cheng, do you have links to the search hijacking stuff that we can look at?
Sure, let me give you that. I just pasted a link in. Sorry, when it's not loading. All right, there you go.
In SUMO?
No, right there in the wiki.
Oh, in the page. Hey, my other question about this is the possible block listing policy changes, because I'd love to know more about that. Because I've asked questions and I still have questions about our policy. Like, I'll show things that people are like, we should blocklist that, and then the policy is like, absolutely no, that's like specifically a case that we don't, and it seems really unclear to people how our policy works. It's unclear to me.
Right. So I've gotten comments from a couple people saying that we should change the block listing. I've heard from a couple of the AMO people saying that's probably something we should sit down and discuss. But that sit down and discuss part has yet to happen. And hopefully it will happen. It's just, I'm just trying to find some time to make sure we can sit down and then, let's say what the policy currently is, what we would like it to go to, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any questions for Cheng? Aside from the questions already asked? All right. Let's move over to metrics.
All right, I guess that's me, but I just wanted to check with you, Cheng. I saw the email where you mentioned that the data that we had was or is broken. Is that about SUMO tools?
Yes. So what happened with
Okay.
SUMO Tools, I'll give you guys an update, is SUMO Tools IT decided to move a lot of the servers. Well, they didn't move the physical servers, but something happened to where they direct traffic to the servers, and so a lot of things went down. And that was about 2 weeks ago now that they decided to do this, and they didn't tell anyone because I guess they assumed everything would be transparent, but everything broke. So we don't have any backup. We don't have any dumps to SUMO Tools, and because we use the dumps to generate metrics and generate data for a whole bunch of things, all of that is broken.
Okay. And I assume that the normal backups are still working, right? I mean, I talked with IT,
Um,
I think, a few weeks ago about
I
creating
checked with
real back.
James. I checked with James about the real backups, and those are fine.
Okay, cool. Well, that means that we don't have metrics for this week. Do you have an ETA on when that will
I
get
talked to
done?
Shiri. She said that she will work on it this week. Hopefully, it's really easy. And basically, her comment was, because I pinged her about this on Friday. She said hopefully this will be pretty easy, and she can get it done before Wednesday. Otherwise, I mean, she doesn't know, right? Because she doesn't know what's causing this problem. Like,
Okay. Because I guess this is also affecting us in the Sphinx versus Elasticsearch rating thing. No?
no, that is not actually being affected because those come from the logs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Logs are not
Oh
being
yeah, right.
affected.
It's true. Cool.
So anything, all the metrics that come from the database are affected. None of the metrics that come from the logs are affected. Um, but the automation part is just taking a lot of time because I'm working on other projects. That's
Cool.
all.
All right. So actually, in this context, I wanted to use this forum to talk about whether we still need the traditional Google Doc now that we have the KPI dashboard, because I'm copying a lot of stuff every week in there, and it seems like it's busy work because a lot of those things actually don't generate any response. So I was wondering if we could do that in a better way, automate it, and actually use the data that we generate to make decisions. And in that regard, for example, changes in article relevance or, like, for example, biggest unhelpful gap and stuff like that. We already have that on the in a visual way on SUMO. So I'm wondering if duplicating it here is any useful. So is anyone actually using the data here? Maybe someone could speak up about that.
I'm mostly
Where,
using the metrics dashboard because it has a lot more history, or not the metrics
Hmm.
dashboard, the metrics document because it has a lot more history.
A lot more history than the KPI dashboard, you mean?
I thought so. I mean, I could be wrong because my last time I haven't checked it recently, but it didn't go as far back from my recollection.
The KPI dashboard should go back like a year or even more,
Oh, is it?
actually.
Okay, never mind.
Maybe we changed that a few weeks ago, I think.
Okay, I missed that, so that was probably my thing.
the KPI dashboard is public?
Yes.
Yeah, we should definitely start to link to it
Yeah,
here. I
we
mean, that
should
should
do
be the
that
first
instead.
step. We are not even linking to it to this agenda, as far as I can tell.
So is anyone else actually using the data there? It would be good to know what you're using it for, so we can optimize the KPI dashboard, or maybe make a few changes to the KPI dashboard so to address your need, if maybe that is possible.
Well,
But if no one
so
else is
what I'm
actually
trying to
using it,
say is,
then
what I would like to do is to start to link to the KPI dashboard, and then let's that everyone has a look at that during the meeting, so we talk through the KPI dashboard every week. But so right now we're not even linking to it from the agenda.
okay. Yeah, I'm just curious because I would have to wait for this to get done and then I have to fill up like 4 weeks of data, I think. And if no one is actually using it, I'm wondering what the value of that is. That is just a thought here. I can
Wait, I'm not
also
following.
start.
Does anyone have a link to the KPI dashboard so I can take a look at it now? What I'm trying to say, Kadir, is that we're not linking.
It's on Sumo in the contributor links. It's like the bottom link or something
In the
Just
sidebar
find
in
it.
SUMO?
in the sidebar. Yep.
Okay, right. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is why aren't we linking to it from the agenda? We're linking to a spreadsheet and we're linking to mobile specific metrics, but we're not linking.
Which is
Yeah,
the
I
same
think that
job.
is. I think we can do that. It's just that those metrics aren't anywhere visible. So if you didn't know about them, you wouldn't find it. But the KPI one is right in your face on Sumo.
So,
We're also just not linking from it because I never put it in the little template that I
Yeah,
use
why don't we
every
just
week.
put in the template and then call
yeah,
it good?
put it in the template,
Yeah, no,
and
yeah.
can I just say that this looks pretty awesome. I don't think I've really seen this since I went on vacation, and I'm not sure if this was even up before my vacation because I don't recognize this.
It
It
is
got a
awesome.
lot better in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Ricky did an awesome job.
Yay. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this looks
Good
pretty
job, Ricky.
stellar to me.
Yeah,
If this
it
is
is
all
good.
Ricky's work, then my hat has been off all day. Uh, Good job. But yeah, we should definitely start to link to this from the agenda. But I need to get myself a little bit accustomed to the format and whatever we're tracking, what we're not tracking here. So I can't really say if we should drop the other stuff yet. But I will admit that I rarely look at that, given that the KPIs is what we should be tracking. So I'm definitely not, you know, against stopping to track that all the nitty gritty stuff in the KPI. The reason, sorry, the spreadsheet, because the reason why we developed these KPIs was that this would be the stuff that we should track on a week-to-week basis. But we'll still need additional metrics to try to figure out when something goes down and when something goes up. Like if there's a spike, we'll still need supportive metrics to try to identify what those trends mean. So there will be discussions around specific metrics, I imagine, from week to week. As long as we have a way to discuss that, you know, we don't have to track it in a spreadsheet.
So one possibility is like the KPIs are really the ones that are interesting also to outside people. That means the nitty gritty of the data we have doesn't go in here. But what we can always do is, if there is an outlier in any of the KPIs, we can always pull the complete data and put it into the spreadsheet to see also where stuff is coming from. So that is still possible, and we could easily do that on an on-demand basis if actually something is spiking and we want to know why.
yeah, data is there, so we don't really need to do any work every week, and at least there is something weird. And if there is something weird, anyone with access to that data, that is basically all of us, can just go there and check.
Wow, the graphs are so cool. Is it
There is a thread in the contributors forum that I opened because there are a couple of things that Cheng and I were commenting on. I ran that through Ricky too. I think that it didn't get any traction because in some cases having the daily stats it's more confusing than helpful. It will be great if you or anyone who is listening to this conversation to go to that comment and uh, put his
Hey,
opinion on it.
Ricky, I think I'm not sure. I remember a discussion to change the default to weekly, but I don't think we created a bug for that. Maybe we can just do that.
okay? Uh,
Yeah.
so to answer your question, then, Kadir, why don't everyone take the opportunity to look at if there are specific metrics in this spreadsheet that you still want us to track on a week-to-week basis, and let Kadir know. And if not, then we can stop tracking that, and we can stop, you know, pasting all those values. The data is of course still there, but the
Yep.
question is whether we spend the time to cut and paste every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am way behind on the mobile cutting pasting job also. Like I look at the metrics every week or two, but I haven't done the cut and paste thing, and it's like not nearly as many as what Kadir's been doing. It's like only 5 things, and I haven't done it in all quarter. So, Scooby Diver opened a thread to ask us if we're gonna like update these or if we're letting them die. Probably because I'm so far behind on the mobile ones. They're still interesting to me. It's just the cutting and pasting seems like I'm not getting it done.
But you're
Yeah.
tracking them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
yeah. I
important
look
part.
at them. I'm just not publishing them, which is terrible. But so I promised to get them updated. But
Well, I mean, so can we expand on this is specifically KPI dashboard with the most important metrics, but is it possible to use this framework and start to build more custom dashboards for like maybe a mobile dashboard with the most important metrics there, or that is that I assume that that's out of scope of what we've done so far, but I'm asking if is that possible? Because at the end of the day, I'd like to automate all the metrics tracking activities. I don't want anyone on the team to spend your time cutting and pasting. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of talent. It's a waste of focus. So if it's possible to automate this one way or another, I'd be fine with having it as a dumb text file, or it doesn't have to be elegant, but it would be nice to get some automation around these things.
So, Ricky, maybe you can tell us more about that. But as far as I can tell, that shouldn't. I mean, it should be definitely possible. It comes from the same data source as the other KPIs that we are tracking here. But Ricky would probably know more about this.
Okay. Well,
We can't hear you.
All right, Ricky. Sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I don't see a problem with.
Can you amp up the volume, or maybe
Wait,
flip down your mic, if that's the problem?
Oh, now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see a problem with adding more detailed dashboards or whatever. That sounds like a good idea. Just need to.
Yeah, we just need on the schedule.
Well, yeah, so what I mean is, if there are metrics that are still valuable to track, and if the only thing holding us back from tracking it is the time that it takes to cut and paste, then we should add that to a future dashboard, or whatever we want to call it. I'm tired of the dashboard word, by the way. But so I'm saying let's not build it for the sake of building it. But if there are certain needs and certain metrics that we should track, and we're not tracking them today because it takes too much time, let's write that down and get that up on some page.
Sounds good. Michelle, do you want to look at? I mean, I think you are the only one who looks into the mobile stats right now, so you would probably know which ones are actually worth tracking on a continued basis. So if you want, we can talk about that in a sync up this week.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you, Kadir. And thanks, Ricky, for an awesome job on the presentation here. It looks fantastic. Okay. The community is empty. Nothing of note this week. Moving on to knowledge base. Michael Verdi.
Hey. I just put Firefox 11 will come out sometime this week, I think. And we want to try to document breaking issues as they happen as articles. I started a forum thread that I need to follow up on, but people have questions about that, but I'll follow up on that today. And then Firefox 12, it's time to do Firefox 12 articles. I think thankfully there's not very many things that need to be updated for Firefox 12, but Firefox 13 looks to be like ginormous. A jillion articles are going to need to be updated for Firefox 13, but nothing we can do about that at the moment.
Even more because of the reset feature.
Oh yeah, there's plenty. It's not even just the reset. I mean, all the mobile articles, but besides that, there's at least that many desktop articles too. Yeah. It's crazy a number of features in Firefox 13. They all seem to be landing there.
Spring is a good baking time, basically.
Yeah.
All right. And this is all tracked. What needs to be worked on is tracked in the forums.
Nope. Well, the Firefox 11 stuff. Chang, I don't know. Usually you start that thread. I don't know if today's the day to do that or how you want to.
Well, yeah.
Probably today's not the good day to do it. You always end up doing it late at night because today's a busy day, right?
Well, I usually try to do it during the day, like I do all my gathering today, but right now we don't even have final builds yet. So right. I can't even get feedback for what's actually going to happen because the builds are all not there.
So we haven't started a Firefox 11 thread yet, and maybe not today. Yep. And then the Firefox 12 stuff I need to do, but I haven't done yet, and I will. Yep. Probably, likely not till tomorrow, though.
But I also meant the localization efforts for Firefox 11, which I'm assuming is ongoing right now. So I'm not just talking about late issues. I'm talking about any other updated documentation. Is that all on track, or what's the
I mean, I don't know what the status of how many things were actually localized in what locales. That I don't know.
So this is something that I'd like Rosanna. I'd like you to start to track these things. I know that, and maybe Kadir, you've already talked to Rosanna about this, but in the past at least, Kadir was responsible for coordinating the localization efforts among the different locales to make sure that that we have a strong communication and overview on the status for each locale. So it'd be good to start to do that again. Make sure that we communicate clearly and we have a plan for how many locales we want to have ready before we launch.
Okay, yeah, sounds like a very
right.
good thing.
But to be honest, though, since we moved to the rapid release cycle, we moved away from getting articles ready. I mean, getting locales ready for a certain number of articles that have changed. Instead, we have been pushing them further towards the top 20 articles because those were changing much less frequently, whereas the other ones are changing basically every 6 weeks. So, but Rosanna, we can talk about that in more detail. Before the rapid release, it was basically, here are the number of articles we have that are changing. Make sure that you get those ready. But now it's more like on a continued basis, make sure that you have your top 20 ready. And then it is the changing articles.
Yeah,
Also
so
because there are fewer changes between. I mean, before it was more important to get the changes because new people come in and they usually come to Sumo because something has changed. So we have to explain that. Now fewer changes are things are changing, so it's not that dramatic anymore.
So to be clear, to what I mean here is that we continuously monitor the health of the localization community, which is what I presume we have the KPI for, which is not. I see that it's not on the KPI dashboard.
No, that was
what
what
I
I
mean
asked.
is that I don't really care if we switch to top 20 or if we have a list of all articles that were changed. What I mean is that we need a way to continuously track that and make sure that we have a solid communication with the localizers so that there are no surprises at the end of the day.
Well, that's actually what I have to do by talking with everyone and establishing relationships. So I will take that. That's going to be part of my daily job. But it's good to sync with Kadir.
Ricky and I pulled some numbers the other day working on the alternate KPI, and the situation is pretty sad. So I will send you that, Rosanna, so you can take a look at the numbers. But
Okay,
there are like a lot of locales that don't have any content updated. Any.
I have that. I did that manually, and it's like red, 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 red.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do there.
So we really need to put some focus on fixing that situation. It will be super cool if you can do that.
Yep.
But what about the big locales like German, Spanish?
Yeah, there are like
all
I
those?
can count with the one hand all the locales that are in a decent shape.
Well, you could count the top
Well-
locales in one hand regardless.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's like
I have.
if you add English in the top other locales, right? That's like probably 90% of our users.
I
So
have
I-
actually
I don't
very, very fresh information. I was just getting everything manually. And to be honest, I mean, there are like 5 locales that are close to 100% everywhere. And otherwise, it looks very bad. I mean, like German is okay, Russian, Italian, the Spanish, French is okay, Dutch, Czech,
Chinese, Japanese.
Chinese, Japanese, Slovenian, and that's it. The rest of them are in a pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
So I'm not
but they
really
may-
asking for a status update for each locale. But I just want us to be continuously looking at these things and sort of set up a plan and figure out where we need to tackle, which locales we need to work most closely with. So it's good to hear that you, Rosanna and Kadir, are going to sync up. But let's not try to paint this painting in too dull colors because we know that we have a.
We'll have 2 months of preview before we launch on GA on June. That's not changing for now. So basically, that's the big update. We have another month to be ready for the launch, for the soft launch, let's call it.
Right, the
Cool.
consumer and developer preview.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, Ibai, is everything all right on our end? Were you able to check everything with
Yep.
the? Okay, cool, perfect.
Happy, happy. Okay, the next. Any questions around services marketplace? All right, support forum is the next and the last thing on the. No.
That would be me. So yay, happy days. We have a next Sumo day on Thursday. I hope everybody's super ready for it. So let's try to commit answering around 10, 15 questions, maybe more, maybe even more, like as many as we can. I'll have a blog post later on this, so but this is just a reminder, so be prepared. I will chase you.
We expect nothing less. Thanks, Madalena.
Yeah, no worries.
And yes, we should all commit. Definitely. This time I have no excuse. Last time I think I was traveling. And then I'm sure I've been on vacation a couple of times too. So
I don't know,
this time the
answering
pressure's on
questions from
me
the
as well.
beach, yeah, pressure.
Yeah,
No pressure.
I tried it, but the
Aprena.
connection there was terrible. So no, I'm actually lying, but okay. Well, the connection was terrible.
By the way, if you look at the KPI dashboard, you can actually see the spikes on the Sumo days, which is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
So
really
I heard the
awesome.
It's the
last time
best.
we achieved 96%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to
Let me check
publish it.
that.
I didn't publish numbers, so but we only left 10 unanswered for the day. So
But that's
it's
pretty
great.
amazing. I mean, if we make every day from now on a sumo day, our goal for 2012 is pretty much a done deal already, without
Well,
any.
yeah, I mean, each day from the numbers that Metrics provides, we're only missing like 25, 35 on a normal day, a little more on a heavy day.
Yeah, I mean, if you can currently look at the KPI dashboard, and you will see we are already almost always over 75%,
Yeah.
Okay, so
or around
that will be a
75.
good number to keep track of because as we discussed, we should set a goal around what we want to achieve in Q2. I'd like us to start to focus on the actual numbers rather than the activities that we put in to achieve that number. So if we're already at 75%, I don't know what the reasonable target would be for Q2, but it might be 90% or 85 or something around those lines.
Well, it's also, we talked about that earlier. I'm not sure if this is the right setting for this, but we talked about what the resolution to the stats should be, because we can never achieve 100% because some of them can't be answered, so we have to close them differently.
Yeah.
And we talked about solutions to that.
Yeah, you need a way to close a thread that isn't a question or is unanswerable. But given that we have that, we should be able to hit 100%. And until we have that, maybe 99% is the only reasonable goal. But the question, what I'm concerned with right now is what can we achieve in Q2. I don't think that that's necessarily 99%, but if it is, then I'd be more than happy to commit to that. But we should talk about that. I don't expect us to have that answer right now, but it's something I'm flagging that because along all of our activities and goals for the next quarter, I want us to think along the lines of what is the desired outcome for that activity. So rather than thinking about launching a program or developing a new guidelines or whatnot, we should think about what do we hope that change is going to lead to, and how can we measure that change, and then set a goal around that instead. And we're already starting to do this. I mean, this is starting to become natural for us. This is how we're gradually starting to define our goals. I think it's only reasonable that we should start to do this for all of our goals at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have pretty much exhausted our agenda. Is there any other last minute topics from anyone before we call this a day? Or, well, an hour? There's a whole day ahead of us for a lot of you.
A lot of daylight saving time.
Well, I mean, so one of the benefits of working from Europe is that after a lot of meetings, the day actually ends. For you guys, it's you start with a lot of meetings and then you have to work too. So I don't know what's best. I would probably pick your situation if I could, to be honest. But anyway, I'm trying to make myself feel a little bit good. With that said, have a great week and
Cheers.
talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.